Today's second video for you is first news stories about a meeting of Prosperity Party in power in Ethiopia. PM Abiy chaired a meeting of executive committee of the party. What was discussed? Secondly, Dina Mufti, Ethiopian foreign ministry spokesperson, has been replaced. Third news story is from Oromo, viewers. While government yesterday announced to launch a new operation against those involved in Valaga, it was being said the operation would be against Oromo Liberation Army. But today, reportedly, OLA fighters were seen in a town in North Shoa zone of Oromo. Some say the town has been taken by OLA. Fourthly, Fano, viewers. Fanos, the government-backed Fanos are still being sent to front lines. We have some pictures for you which show that those Fano factions which are under the control of government forces, they are recruiting, training, and they're being sent to front lines, and Ethiopian National Defense Force is commanding these Fanos, it seems. And lastly, viewers, Getachew Reda, Tigray presidential spokesperson, just a few hours ago spoke about Tigray's position regarding Western Tigray. Not the first time that Tigray has made it clear about its position regarding Western Tigray being part of Tigray. But what he said, which is important, is that he talked about whether there will be peaceful solution to dispute over Western Tigray or not. What did he say? What is Tigray's calculation? Will Western Tigray be retaken peacefully or through military means? What did Getachew say? We have a clip for you as well. Firstly, viewers, Prosperity Party, ruling party in Ethiopia, led by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, today held a meeting. Executive committee of the party met. The meeting was chaired by PM Abiy. Two vice chairmen of the party were also there. Damake Mekonnen and newly elected Aden Farah were accompanying. They were sitting alongside Ethiopian PM Abiy. What was discussed? What was decided? The party firstly condemned recent incidents involving civilian killings. No mention of places, just recent incidents involving civilian killings. Secondly, the party once again endorsed what PM Abiy announced yesterday, that a new crackdown on extremist groups and forces has been launched and parties backing it. We know that yesterday PM Abiy announced the launch of a new operation against OLA. The announcement came after Valaga massacre, in which hundreds of innocent civilians have been killed in West Valaga, Gimbi. Thirdly, party backed all law enforcement measures being adopted by government forces. Now, where are these law enforcement measures being adopted? In Amhara region, against some Fano factions, Fano supporters, some activists, journalists. In Oromo, against OLA, in Gambela and BG as well. So party is backing all these operations. Important thing is that PM Abiy is in control of this party despite dissenting voices against ongoing operation in the Amhara region. The party is still united. It means that PM Abiy has very tight control over the party, and there is no signs of any splits in PP. Whoever speaks is arrested. That is why perhaps that despite dissenting voices in Amhara against the ongoing operation, against arrests of thousands of journalists, foreign fighters, activists, we are seeing that party is still united, and today party backed all law enforcement measures being adopted by government forces. Secondly, viewers, Dina Mufti, who is seen on weekly basis, sometimes bi-weekly basis, has been fired from his position as Ethiopian Foreign Ministry spokesperson. He has been appointed as Director General of Diplomacy. Public Diplomacy Director General, he has been appointed. He is being replaced by Meles Alam. Meles Alam is former Ethiopian ambassador to Kenya. He'll now work as Ethiopian Foreign Ministry spokesperson. Dina Mufti has been fired, or you can say that he has been transferred to a new posting. Thirdly, viewers, Oromia government yesterday announced the launch of a new operation, the second operation in around 2 months against Oromo Liberation Army. More than a month ago, regional forces, federal forces launched a military offensive against Oromo Liberation Army. Somali regions forces, Sidama regions forces, Ethiopian Federal Police, Ethiopian National Defense Force, Oromia Regional Force, Oromia Special Force, Oromia militias, all were involved in the operation. We saw very tall claims. Colonel Gareso of Oromia Security Department said that OLA had been eliminated. There was no OLA in any village town of Oromia. Government also claimed that the same claims were shared by the government. Then we saw Valaga incident and we saw OLA's operation in Western Oromia. We saw OLA in Dambidolo, in Gimbi as well. Incident of Valaga is also being blamed on Oromo Liberation Army. And yesterday, PM Abiy said that a new operation, new measures are being adopted on extremist groups which are involved in atrocities against civilians, in civilian killings in Valaga. But today, OLA fighters were seen in North Shoa zone of Oromia in a town, a major town of North Shoa zone. Name of the town is Vichale. OLA fighters have been seen in Vichale. Where is Vichale, viewers? Have a look at this map. And you can see Vichale as well. Vichale is in North Shoa zone of Oromia. And OLA fighters have been seen. Some say OLA is in control of this town. But others say that they have been seen. OLA fighters have been seen patrolling in Vichale town. So despite several operations, OLA is still in North Shoa zone of Oromia. Valaga and Guji Burana are traditional strongholds of OLA. OLA has been there for decades, but OLA's presence in West Shoa, in North Shoa indicates that recent operations could not inflict irreparable losses on OLA. That is why OLA is still there in parts of central Oromia and perhaps eastern and northern parts of Oromia too. Fourthly, viewers, Fano, though Fano factions are being dismantled, their commanders are being hunted down. We know that Zameen Akasi is on the run, Masri Shah is on the run, but those Fano commanders and factions which are under the control of government forces, they are still receiving training, they are being sent to front lines. Government wants a government-controlled Fano. It does not want an independent militia in Amhara region. And today we saw some pictures of Fano factions which have been sent to front lines. You can see pictures on your screen. The pictures show two Fano factions. Firstly, Asamino Brigade fighters. Secondly, Zoble Amba Brigade. These two Fano faction fighters, they were sent to front lines. some community activists, religious leaders and others, they participated in the ceremony which was organized when these fighters were sent to frontline. So while we say that government is dismantling Fano, it does not mean that government wants to dismantle Fano altogether. Government only wants to dismantle those Fano factions which are not under government control, which do not want to come under government control. That is why Gojam Fano of Zameen Kasi and Masisha is under crackdown, because they don't submit to government authority. But East Amhara Fano, Mehre, Wodajo Fano is under government control. It seems that the Fano has come under government control, newly established Fano. Another Fano faction led by a Muslim commander is also under government control. These Fano factions are being trained, armed, and being sent to front lines as well. These pictures confirm. Lastly, viewers, Getachew Reda, Tigray presidential spokesperson, today once again reiterated Tigray's position about Western Tigray. It's not a revelation, but what he said about how Tigray will retake Western Tigray, that's interesting. What did he say? Firstly, he said Western Tigray, name suggests, is part of Tigray. It is not up for negotiations. It is non-negotiable. Western Tigray is part of Tigray. No matter what others say, Tigray will never compromise. Tigray will never step back from its position that this area is part of Tigray. But secondly, very important thing, he said, we are not naive enough to expect that peacefully Tigray will be able to retake Western Tigray. So that is why we'll use all options available, we'll use all means to ensure that Western Tigray is back under Tigray control, that people who have been displaced from Western Tigray are rehabilitated. So he is confirming that peaceful solution to the dispute over Western Tigray is not possible, it seems. He is suggesting it, he is implying. Though he says Tigray is committed to peaceful solution to this dispute. But when he says that Tigray is not naive enough that it expects a peaceful solution, it means that Tigray knows very well that Amhara region's claim to Western Tigray is also there. Amhara region is not stepping back from its position. We have seen statements from Amhara President Yilkal Kifale, who a few days ago said that he said Wolkait, Sagade, Humra were not up for talks. Areas are part of Amhara. So both sides have very conflicting positions. That is why Getachew says that though Tigray is committed to peaceful solution, but Tigray is not naive enough to expect that it will happen easily. He said easily. So he means to say that Tigray will have to use force. Is he implying that a new military offensive on Western Tigray could be launched by Tigray forces in coming days? Take a listen to what he said. Thanks for watching.
We insist that all forces withdraw from Western Tigray. And we want this to happen peacefully. But it doesn't mean that we are naive enough to expect that this would happen easily. So while we reserve the right to resort to any means at our disposal to ensure full control, Tigray control over Western Tigray, we would at the same time do everything to make sure that this control is regained peacefully